Today I'm feeding my roses. So rose number 1 in tied corner, rose number 2 and rose number 3. So generous gardener there has a little bit more space, so I treat it as a usual feeding, spring feeding time. But those two, they require special attention. Olga, Carmody with you from Connecticut. When I planted this Katrina rose several years ago, I think it's 3 years old, I made sure that that hole was pretty deep because I knew that Katrina rose will be fighting their very close proximity to the wall, right? So it's very dry usually there. And the water. Water doesn't have access to that soil as in open land. But also I know that Katrina is such a tough rose. I'm asking it to grow here in morning shade, especially in spring, and it flourishes. So what do you do with this rose? Usually, if you have such a tight space, the recommendation is to go only with organic fertilizers because they do not burn the roots. Just imagine, this is a space where you have to put your fertilizers in, right? And if they are synthetic fertilizers, they can burn the roots. Oops, I'm falling out. They can burn the roots and then where your rose will be. But with organic fertilizers, here for this rose and that rose at the back, I do half a dosage. Right now in spring, the middle of March, and then in a month I will repeat the dosage. And here in Connecticut, zone 7A, the usual recommendation when to feed roses is twice a year now, before roses are leafing out and after their first big bloom, to help them to create stems for next year. But with this situation, I repeat half of feeding in spring and then half and half after the blooming time. I moved this table to show you the bottom of my Katrina rose. Usually it is hidden behind the table, so the shadows there, the shade is enormous, and my beauty is just doing so great. So this year is going to be excellent. Rose Stone is organic fertilizer I use. I'm not really picky of what I use. One year can be one thing, another year can be a different thing, as long as it is organic. This time I found it in the nursery, Rose Stone, and the recommendation is the drip line. You have to spread the fertilizer around the drip line of the rose. Well, with the climber, we control where we want our roses to be, right? Look at this one, beautiful. And I train it to go just around here. So drip line doesn't exist, and I'm going to go for half of the dose. I have this measure here. I know how much half is. I'm going to spread it in, then cover with organic matter, and every year I switch, I go for what I have. This year I happen to have a lot of leaf mold, which is not a fertilizer, it's a soil conditioner. So I'm going to mix it with cow manure, aged cow manure, 50-50, and I will apply it on top of fertilizer. Right, so this is leaf mold together with cow manure, and it pays to have some sort of raised borders in tight spaces. Not only it keeps soil in and doesn't let it spill out, but also watering is so much easier because water doesn't run out and you don't run the risk of underwatering your rose. Here in my case, I'm trying to have the soil level a little bit lower than the level of bricks. It's not really working very often because I like to add all sorts of goodness here for my rose. So maybe I should consider installing some sort of a border here. Okay, that is it. And one more very important step is to water it. And very often what I do, I have the broken watering can with a hole underneath, so I just fill it up. I don't throw it away, and I just put it here and let that hole slowly sip in and hydrate all the soil. Now with this rose, my beautiful generous garden, I just did the major pruning on it. It looks nice, clean, healthy. By the way, here's the video how I did it. And this area is bigger here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of move aside all the needles. I don't want to cover them with cow manure and leaf mold. Apply everything what I need, full dosage. And then I'm going to move all those needles back to make it kind of the same looking with everything else here. I kind of like that natural look. So that's what we're going to do about this rose. All right, that is done. Now I'm looking at my 2 roses, which I have in pots. So with this rose, this is my a beautiful apricot drift rose. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean it. Let me get my bucket. Here it is. So all this has to be cleaned up. And I see that the soil level is receding, which is normal for the pot. Let me get all this stuff out. You know what? Let me put my glove on because it's going to hurt me, this rose. And this rose was badly damaged. I mean, so badly damaged by roses, by rabbits. Look at this, what they did to it. It was literally this size. I was expecting that next year on my patio, this rose would be a beautiful thing. Well, it's going to be a beautiful thing, but mini beautiful thing. So what I'm doing, unfortunately, I'm going to trim these long stems just above the bud to the same height to keep it proportional on all sides. What can I do? This is some... All right, That's it. This is the shape of my rose now. I'm going to gently feed it on the perimeter. Again, not the full dose. Half the dose, if that. Cover it with 50% of leaf mold and 50% of cow manure. I ran out of it. Let me mix it again. And water it all in. This one is a mystery rose. I don't know what it is. Somebody gave it to me as a baby plant. And you know what I don't like about it? Look at this, how it rocks. That is not a good sign. It means that it was rocking in the winter. It looks fine. It's the buds are nice and healthy, but I have to make sure that this rose is anchored well. So I'm going to raise the soil level in an attempt to kind of anchor it. But before that, I'm going to take all this top stuff out, apply all the stuff what I need to apply, and then put it back. And then prune this rose. Now the pruning. It's very unbalanced in its growth, so I'm going to bring it down to the out-facing bud. Here you go. And that would be it. No, this one too. No. Okay. This one is an awkward growth, but it has good buds. That's it for this rose. My roses here at the back patio are all taken care of. They're fed, fertilized, pruned. Everything looks good. And you know what? I am itching to go back into hypertufa containers. Look how beautiful this thing is. But unfortunately, it's still a little bit too cold. I'm afraid that the cement would be damaged. So I'm holding on, but I am ready to move my water fountain out, set it up, plant it. Maybe with different plants this year. I don't know. Let me know what you think about which plants to put this year on the first layer of that water fountain. I'm just curious to pick your brain. All right, see you in our next video. Happy gardening.